So I said, what? Must have been halfway through last year, we came up with a story, I think it was in the Independent, might have been the New European, that one of the things that Brexiteers are trying to do is they are trying to pin the blame on other people, when it is their sole responsibility for all this mess that is going on and all the mess that is to come. So, in a move surprising no one, because I don't understand why Jacob Rees-Mogg would think that people wouldn't look at a newspaper interview he would give with, say, the Sydney Morning Herald, which is obviously a newspaper in Australia, in which he says, Jacob Rees-Mogg has insisted that if Theresa May loses her job and if Britain was to crash out of the European Union, it would not be the fault of Brexiteers. Oh dear, oh dear. So, an interview with the Sydney Morning Herald, the Tory backbencher and Brexiteers said that crashing out without a deal was the most likely option, and it would be an accidental and that no one would be to blame. Rees-Mogg said that that it was important to get Britain's withdrawal agreement from the EU right, rather than replacing Theresa May with a Brexiteer as leader of the Conservative Party, but then again said that it would be accidental if she did lose her job. One is the risk is an accidental leadership election, the other is an accidental departure from the European Union without any agreement having been made. So, Theresa May having a vote of no confidence put against her, primarily driven by the European Research Group, a group of 60 Eurosceptic MPs that are not representative of this entire country, that are going against the will of the people for years by saying we want out of the European Union. Again, a vote which no one wanted, by the way. This was absolutely ridiculous. And now here he is in this interview saying, oh, it will just be an accident. The vote was not an accident. The vote was caused by him and his European Research Group constantly threatening to walk over to UKIP, and because UKIP had become this vote siphoner, the Conservative Party said, well, David Cameron said, right, we're going to have this vote, it'll be settled once and for all. The Brexiteers even thought they would lose. Remember, Nigel Farage came out and conceded before anything happened, so shows what confidence they had in actual winning the vote. But then to say that if Theresa May loses her job, it would be an accident. That is hilarious. So, there is no great campaign, but it could just happen without anybody really planning. And that could happen at any point. It is not under anybody's specific control, he said. However, he denied that Theresa May would lose her job if Britain did crash out without the EU, without a deal, and said it depends on whether or not she leads the party in the next general election. Would there be a strain on her position? Inevitably. It would be silly of me to pretend otherwise. Would she be able to survive it? Yes, of course, Prime Ministers can always survive, but it would not be easy. He added, it is not accidental. It is not going to. If we got this accidental no deal that the government had not embraced, then it would be very risky for the government. All this happened because after the Brexit vote, his group basically started pushing for Article 50 to be approved. There could have been ample time to find out all this information that we've only found out through these 2 years to basically start these processes. They wanted this, to push this on the British people and push this Article 50 through as fast as possible, because they knew that there would be a reversal. They knew people, when they found out the facts, people wouldn't like it, and that people might not want to leave the European Union. And oh look, what's the latest poll numbers and all the polls that have been showing since Brexit? There has been a massive shift towards Remain. This is only going to keep growing. So don't think that this is a quote-unquote done deal, because it's not. This is, ridiculous. I've said from the very beginning, Britain is going to get a better deal when it leaves. It will not get better trade deals. That's a lie. Brexiteers talk about sovereignty. What about the sovereignty that we're going to lose when the US, a country that we have no say in how its laws or regulations are going to be made, forces on us their food standards and regulations and says that we have to accept them and we have to accept their standard of food coming into our country? That is a loss of sovereignty, yet somehow Brexiteers are completely fine with that. But we can be in the European Union, have a complete full seat at the table, have a complete full say in what goes on in the European Parliament and the European Union. We can even make our own rules, as Boris Johnson said yesterday, thus contradicting his entire run in his Leave campaign, by the way. This is completely ridiculous. These entire 2 years have proved nothing except Britain already has the best deal it can possibly get, which is being a member of the European Union.